Ooh, it is March 1st, spring is in the air, the daffodils are blooming, and Digimon Con 2026 is this month. Obviously, we anticipate a bunch of stuff coming up at Digimon Con, but we already have things confirmed happening this month too for Digimon, which means it's going to be another exciting month and probably a really exciting year. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. Dydd Gwyl Dewi Sant Hapus o Gymru, that is Happy St. David's Day to you not from Wales. And I love this time of year. Spring's in the air, lambs are out, Digimon Con is happening. And Digimon Con is actually going to be on March 22nd this year at 9:30 JST, which is unfortunately half past midnight for me. So my stream, which could be 2, 3, 4 hours, is going to start at half past midnight and run until the early hours. But thankfully, as you may have noticed, I have my brand new C7 Morpher chair from today's sponsor, Flexispot. My previous chair, which you've seen in some videos, nice white plush chair, great for 10 minutes. I have been blown away by the C7 Morpher. First of all, I am 6'6", which means it's incredibly rare for me to find any chair that I am not towering above. And yet, I can actually rest my head on the headrest, and I can lean back as much as I want. I'm very happy that this finally is a chair that does that for me. The C7 Morpher has a ton of adjustability with a 3D adjustable headrest, 135-degree dimensions, which can be tilted to the ideal angle for working. Key for me at 6'6" is that supported upper back. They call it their Flex Clean Tech, precision engineered to gently wrap your upper back. And you can adjust that up to 10 degrees to match your sitting style, keeping your shoulders relaxed and your upper back fully supported all day. Tons of other stuff you can adjust, like the seat depth, a 5D armrest with plenty of options to support your arms when typing or gaming, and the armrests adjust synchronously. The armrests recline with you, providing support for your arms at every angle. And of course, it is reclining with a footrest and recline function. Like I say, I personally like the chair to be upright, but if I did want to recline, the lumbar support moves along with the back as you recline, and unlike other chairs without this function, your back will be perfectly supported still in the whole reclining process. Plus, the C7 Morpher comes with a 10-year warranty and 30-day return-free policy, so you can use my code in the description down below to get the absolute best price available. But if you've got a limited budget, you can also check out their C7 and C5 chairs, which are also in good build quality with some basic functions for adjustments as well. And thank you to Flexispot and their C7 Morpher for sponsoring this video. Alright, so why is it going to be such a great month for Digimon? Well, it's the month for Digimon, let's be honest. First of all, as already confirmed in February, the X-Antibody DLC, Anti-Paradox, is coming out in March. As of time of recording, we do not have a firm date. However, because it's March and we know that Digimon Con, thanks to V-Jump scans, is on March 22nd, we're probably looking around Digimon Con week, if not only a couple of days before, when this DLC launches. I didn't touch on it as much in my video the other day about the DLC being confirmed, but a few people have been asking, I guess, not keeping up with the DLC, so I wanted to just confirm it here. There will only be 5 X-Antibody Digimon in this DLC. Omnimon X, Magnamon X, Ulforce Vudramon X, Gallantmon X, and Jessmon X. There won't be any extras. There won't be like Wargreymon X or Metal Garuramon X, any X-Antibody Demon Lords, no Starmon X-Antibody, nothing like that. This is 5 new Digimon of the X-Antibody added to the game, plus a short story chapter focusing on Monica Simmons and Asuna Shiroki from the base game. Perhaps Monica even creating the X-Antibody in this universe or something. DLC 1 Alternate Dimension launched on December 8th, and DLC 2 Gakuran launched on January 21st. If we look most recently to Gakuran, it was first teased on December 22nd, so it's basically exactly 1 month between announcement and release. And with the Anti-Paradox teaser trailer being dropped on February 17th, yeah, March 17th or the week of Digimon Con feels quite likely. It's not impossible to delay it a little bit to launch the day of Digimon Con, you know, it's kind of our Pokemon Day equivalent, but that week is where I'd be looking at for the final DLC of this season pass. It also means potentially that the DLC will all be done in time for Digimon Con, but of course Agiomon is still there on the Digimon Con 2026 art. Now, I'm less positive that a Season Pass 2 will happen now, because Agiomon still being on the logo for 2026 could simply just indicate the fact that they're still promoting the Switch and Switch 2 version, which is launching in July. I've seen a few people saying, because the Switch trailer said by September for the DLC, that they're gonna like delay the DLC releases on Switch. That would seem very short-sighted to me and unlikely. Everything about the DLC will already be out there in the world for 4 months by the time the Switch version drops. You don't want to do that. So I'm not feeling very, very positive about a Season 2 for Digimon Story Time Stranger, because they are going to be promoting the Switch versions, but it's not impossible that they would want to have a second Season Pass ready for this year to kind of buffer the sales of the Switch version, encourage people to buy it because there'll be more DLC, and of course keep the game alive while they announce more stuff. Interestingly, this year is also 10 years since Digimon Universe Apply Monsters debuted, 25 years since Digimon Tamers debuted, and 20 years since Digimon Savers, with the 25th anniversary of Digimon Frontier next year. Truly, who knows if any of these things will get any kind of commemoration outside of maybe a piece of art. However, I do think it's quite possible, given that Digimon Beatbreak's series composer is also Digimon Data Squad series composer, that they might be pushing for a complete selection animation, color evolution version of the Digivice IC. However, given that this year is 25 years of Tamers and it's yet to receive a color evolution, it's probably next, isn't it? Would love to see a re-release VPET for Appmon, Frontier, or Savers though. Another kind of cool thing for the future of Digimon VPETs is this new Wave 1 of VPETs. Now these are just again reshelled Digital Monster 20ths, not even colors interestingly, but they do have some really cool styles that were unveiled recently at Toy Fair 2026. While not particularly exciting if you own any version of the Digital Monster 20th, there are some cool things to bear in mind here. First of all, they have redesigned the Digimon Digital Monster version VPET logo. It's a slight revision, but I think modernizes it in a nice way without removing what's so cool about the design. I've always loved the little creature in the O of Digimon. It's also worth pointing out that with this being at Toy Fair, there will be actually specific US and Japanese packaging for this. This is not going to be like a premium Bandai situation where it's all in Japanese and there's just like American English stickers put on it and the device itself is still basically in Japanese. Well, of course, a 95% of these devices are usable in English even if you don't speak Japanese. There's still that little bit of Japanese throughout. However, these versions will be fully marketed in the US region as well as in Japan. I guess we'll see about the UK and other regions, won't we? I don't think they would make a brand new logo for the Digimon VPETs and make these new shells, plus do specific like SKUs or whatever you call them for the US and Japanese markets if there wasn't going to be some kind of push this year for more Digimon VPETs to be released outside of the kind of Japanese P Bandai infrastructure. We'll have to see at Digimon Con and beyond if this actually means anything for the status quo of Digimon VPETs going forward, but it's certainly not a bad sign. I also want to give a shout out to Stephen Asark, whose name I've probably absolutely butchered, my apologies, who got some photos from Toy Fair 2026 of these Digital Monster VPETs, and also some other Digimon Adventure related products, some of which we've seen before, some of which we haven't, but they all look pretty cool, and it's nice to see that there is a push for more Digimon toys to be released, at least in America, which, you know, is probably their biggest market outside of Japan. In the anime world, Digimon Beatbreak is now probably close to entering its third core, or third arc. Today, as of time of recording, episode 21 will have gone out, and we're actually 2 months on from the start of the Tactics arc, the second arc of Digimon Beatbreak. Obviously, Beatbreak started in October, so we're looking at about 3-ish months between arcs, and it still seems like it's going to be around 49 episodes for this season. Digimon Savers was 48 episodes, like I say, by the same series composer, and we haven't had any information come out that indicates it's going to be longer or shorter, so if there's going to be 3 or 4 arcs, 3 or 4 cores in this series, you would expect a new arc every 13 or so episodes, which would mean between episode 21 and 26 is likely to be the next arc. Delving deeper into the 5 stars, I would imagine. While I doubt it happened this week, we did just get Asdarmon or Ajdarmon for Raito's Monodramon, which means we are kind of escalating into the ultimate level now, which would mean I would expect that we're going to start seeing ultimate levels for Knight Chiropmon, Wolvermon, and Armalizamon in the next arc, either at the end of this arc or leading into the third arc, to kind of match the fact that Kyo's Murasamimon is already capable of being at the ultimate level. Kyo and Murasamimon faced off against Gigasmon, Gigasmon being treated as an ultimate level in the anime, so we're definitely entering our kind of like ultimate level power level arc or era of this anime. Recording this in advance, so I don't know what happened on Beatbreak today. Could have been huge. Discuss in the comments. Something weird is also going on with Digimon Liberator. Historically, the comic has been once every 2 weeks. However, episode 23 part 2 debuted on February 19th, and then it was revealed that part 1 of episode 24 would be coming out just 1 week later on February 24th. Meaning that of course there will be another part to the episode 24, but we are definitely wrapping up Digimon Liberator now. I have had this suspicion for a little while now that Digimon Liberator was supposed to end earlier, with Digimon Alysion potentially launching in December of last year. However, because of feedback from the closed beta and extended development times, Digimon Alysion has been pushed likely to the spring of this year around Digimon Con because, well, look, Gemon is right there in the Digimon Con 2026 promo art. Whether or not a delay to Liberator is a real thing that happened, it does feel a little bit coincidental that suddenly it's gone from every 2 weeks to once a week potentially, which means we might only be looking at like 4 more chapters of Digimon Liberator, 24 part 1 and part 2, 25 part 1 and part 2, and maybe an epilogue setting us up for Digimon Alysion. Because also let's not forget Vortex Dramon was debuted back in early February. I do absolutely think Digimon Alysion is coming out soon, possibly either being shadow dropped at Digimon Con or at the Bandai TCG World Finals, which I believe is on March 14th or 15th, depending on your time zone. We have had Digimon Alysion, of course, be very intrinsically tied to specifically the TCG, because it's a TCG client and mobile game, and they have revealed these things at TCG-centric events before. So it wouldn't actually surprise me if Digimon Alysion got its release date, whether a full public release or an open beta, announced at the TCG World Finals, perhaps with a date very close to Digimon Con so they can elaborate on it at Digimon Con. The public demo that's been at events recently has been updated with a better UI and things like that, so it does feel like they're circling the drain and coming close to a finished public build of Alysion. I do think this month absolutely we are going to see something, whether it's from Worlds or Digimon Con. We do not have long to wait for this game, and I'm very, very excited for it. Plus, the advanced booster Digimon Generation is coming out on March 27th, just a couple of days after Digimon Con. It's kind of like their new version of the LMs, where it's like reprint cards plus reprint cards with new borders and brand new cards. A good catch-up if you're looking to get back into the game physically, though I personally am just going to be waiting for Digimon Alysion. Great time to be a fan of Heroes though. And of course for the rest of the year we've got a bunch of cool Digimon TCG products coming out. The final Crest LM in August, Digital World Shambhala releasing July 3rd, Timeless Bonds at the end of August, start of September, and Chivalrous 13 in October. Clearly the physical TCG is not going anywhere, even with the probable launch of Digimon Alysion. We're probably also going to see more elaboration on these at the World Finals and at Digimon Con. But that's everything I want to cover right now about what is exciting for Digimon this month. We've got the X-Antibody DLC, Digimon Con March 22nd as confirmed by VJump, Beatbreak continuing and likely entering its next core, the final Battle of Liberator wrapping up and leading us into the new Digimon mobile game and TCG client Digimon Alysion, and of course the World Finals of the Digimon card game. Pretty cool to see happening and seeing that Digimon still has this thriving TCG scene. It's all in all so exciting, and that is just without talking about stuff we have no idea about. Of course, Digimon Con is a news event. While it's also a celebration of Digimon, the past few years have demonstrated it's absolutely an event to expect news at, so there's also a bunch of stuff leading into the future, because let's not forget also 2027 is the 30th anniversary of Digimon as a franchise, which would also explain that kind of like updated rebrand for the Digital Monster V-Pet logo. And we know that a pendulum color version of the Digimon Godzilla collab is coming. It was teased a few months back, but we've not yet seen it actually fully be revealed, so it's quite likely in my opinion that we could see that at Digimon Con. And that's also why I didn't put it in my Digimon that we're never going to see again video from last week, because it does seem like they're teasing at least one new Digimon Godzilla hybrid creature for that pendulum color. With all of these anniversaries, including the 30th anniversary of Digimon itself, we could see a lot of cool stuff announced at Digimon Con. So stay tuned, of course, to my channel. I will keep you updated on every single thing, and I will see you live on March 22nd for my Digimon Con stream, which my Flexispot chair is going to make all the easier to do. As a reminder, they have a 30-day return policy for a risk-free trial and a 10-year warranty with direct replacement for damaged parts. So use my code in the description down below to get the best price. And thank you to Flexispot for sponsoring this video. Thank you to my sovereigns, ZDK14, Chaotic Prophet, Lupus Lichlord, and Jeremy Babineau over on patreon.com/Karn EX. Everyone else over there and my YouTube channel members here on YouTube, I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you next time on We Go Digital. Bye bye.